At this time, I would like to introduce our next speaker, Sonia Martinez, a pediatric patient parent. And so I will turn the time over to Sonia. Welcome her, everybody. Welcome.
Thank you. Okay, I might cry. I probably will. That's because Dr. Rodriguez is here, and he's the one that did the transplant for my son. This is my son, Remy, and he's 5 now. So, oh no, he's 7. Sorry, it's been 5 years since he had a transplant. So yeah, it's been a long time. I'm gonna cry already. So we are here because we've had our journey with the Ronald McDonald House since pretty much our son was born. He was born with a liver disease called biliary atresia. And so at 9 weeks, we had to travel down here for him to have his first surgery, which was the Kasai. It's a temporary surgery. And so coming down here, this literally happened within like 3 days. We've never been to Salt Lake City. We don't have family here. We don't know anyone here. And so they're like, you're going to have to travel over there. Our first baby just had him. And we had no idea what we were doing. We literally had to borrow money to come and stay at a hotel just so he can have his surgery. So we came down. We met with the doctors the following morning. That was his surgery. We were at a hotel. We didn't know how we were going to do it or what we were going to do. Thankfully, the social worker at the time, Barbie, she talked to us about the Ronald McDonald House. Now, we've heard of it before, but we weren't sure what it was. And so when she explained it to us, it was amazing. Like she just said, they give you a place to stay, your family to stay, you get meals, you get to shower, things we needed. And then they say that they help you. Would they help you financially? You don't have to do it on your own. You don't have to borrow money. So that's how they connected us with the Ronald McDonald House. And since then, they're family. We've been there so many times. My son went through rejection, and so we had to travel back and stay there. During his actual transplant, which was about 2 years later, we had to actually stay there for about 2.5 months to 3 months. And it was a lot. During the hospital stay, there was a tiny little couch. And so me and him would sleep on that couch. And my legs were swollen from standing next to his crib, just holding his hand. Whew. And so after the hospital, during the hospital stay, we literally just stayed on that couch. But then they told us about the Ronald McDonald House rooms that they have. And so they showed us around, and they have beds, they have rooms. You can do your laundry, which we had bags of laundry in our room. They provide snacks. People volunteer, bring food. It was just a place to rest for a minute. And so when my mom came to visit, we took advantage of that. We were able to sleep in the rooms, get some sleep, because you're on all the time. Nurses and doctors coming in and out 24 hours a day. And so we were able to get that sleep, get that time just for a minute, wash our clothes, brush our teeth. So that was amazing. Once we were ready to go, we couldn't go home. And again, we don't have money to spend on a hotel for 2-3 months. So the Ronald McDonald House, they took us in and they gave us this amazing little suite that had a living room because we're going to be there for a while. So my daughter was tiny. She was, I don't even think she was a year old yet. And we were able to stay there for those 2.5 months and rehabilitate my son. He had to start walking again and doing all that stuff, which he did. I am telling you, for us, it was hard because we're the parents. We're trying to help him. He had his feeding tube, everything. He thought it was a vacation. He was having the best time. Like all the time, there was always something going on. Arts and crafts, cookies, everything. He was just like, we're never leaving this place. And I'm like, I want to go home. I love it here, but I'm tired. But my daughter too. And they made us feel like family. They made my daughter feel like family, even though she wasn't the one going through it. They made us just feel like family. We love them so much. They provide us meals. They provide anything that we need, toiletries, anything that we run out of. They would give him like tickets to go places. He went to his first Monster Jam and the Jazz basketball team. He got to meet the Bears. So he He would never leave. He'd be like, you guys can go home. I'll be here. So he loves it. We love it. It's just, they even help the parents. I mean, we were stressed out. It was hard. And they brought in a masseuse to give parents like a little quick massage. And this guy signed up quick. He went up there. Yeah, he was just like, let's do it. It was really cool. Santa Claus, we were there during Christmas, so Santa Claus comes and he laid down on the big bean bags while we were at the movie theater, and he was laying there. My son's like, he was just watching him the whole time. He was not watching the movie. He was so excited. Yeah, and the special thing is that during Christmas, we had no money to buy our kids anything because we were going through all this. We still had to pay our mortgage. We still had to do all that stuff because life doesn't stop when you're going through this stuff. Our bills are still coming. During Christmas, they have this, what's it called? Winter Wonderland? Winter. Okay. So they have this huge room, right? And then you set up your time and you get to go in there and shop for your family, shop for your kids. And there's just donated gifts, donated toys, all that stuff. He got me pots. Like, it was awesome. That was really cool. So, I mean, no. They're still in the cabinet. They're nice. But it's like... But like, it's just, they made it so special. My daughter got Christmas gifts. My son got Christmas gifts. They had parties. It's a glow in the dark party. It was a New Year's Eve party, and my kids were up till 12 in the morning celebrating. I mean, it's such an amazing place, and they helped us so much. We didn't feel like we went without, even though we were tired and we were ready to go home. My kids had a blast, and meeting the families that were there, oh, it's so inspirational. They make you cry all the time. You make friends. People have been there longer than you. It was just amazing. The staff is just like family. They're so welcoming.
Yeah, can't say enough about the staff. You build lasting relationships that,
Oh, thank you.
thank you. You build lasting relationships, even, they hire the most generous people. They're not there just, to do a 9-to-5 job. They're there. They actually care. Even, 7 years later, they still write on social media to check on Remy, to see how he's doing, to see how he's growing, to see if he's okay, to still see if we need anything. So that's what we love about it. And yeah, we just can't say enough about our experience, and there's nothing
negative
that we can say.
Because they're like, say the good and the bad. There's nothing bad that we can say about them. It's just such a generous place with generous
if anything, I wouldn't say it's negative, but just how families or even us as a community can get the word out there more, because we didn't know what the Ronald McDonald House was. We just thought it was a McDonald's charity that they just donated. So like, even us, like even my mother-in-law, her mom, down in San Diego, because she was inspired. She even volunteers now down at the Ronald McDonald House in San Diego. She goes and
she gets her friends together. They made shirts and they say for Remy, which is our son, and she goes down there with all her friends and they serve dinners and stuff.
We're from Boise, Idaho, and we tried to do that and where we're from, but they're like booked out for like 2 or 3 months because it's a smaller house. Yeah. So which is good. So we try to still donate what we can, like toys and food, but of that nature. But yeah, so it's a inspiration thing, and we're trying to teach our kids that because we were given so much, it's good to give back.
Yeah, every time we go to McDonald's, we drop money in the thing every time. But the only thing is that when we tell people about it, because they haven't been through it and they've never experienced it, they don't really know what the Ronald McDonald House Charities really does, what help they provide. They think it's just a McDonald's charity, just like we did. And so we were talking about it, and we want to find a way to get it out there more clearly for people to understand, everyday people that just don't, they've never been through it. Because we do see the signs at McDonald's, but they're so little that people don't see them. We right away see them. We're like, okay. Yeah. But we just, I don't know. We want to find a way to help. And, anytime we can, we're always talking about it, and we donate, and, and we were just talking to Casey. We want to donate a room. That's our goal, to donate a room soon. With Remy's name, but
And every time we go through a drive-through, they always ask us, "Would you like to round up to help donate to our local hospital, like our hospital, St. Luke's out there in Idaho?"
Yeah.
And we always do because we love helping whenever we can. So I always wonder, like, maybe we can, if anybody knows Mr. Ronald's name or his number, if we can get a hold of him and maybe ask when we go through
When
McDonald's,
are we gonna do that?
if when anybody goes to the drive-thru, like, hey, you want to round up to donate to your local Ronald McDonald House charities? I mean, any way we can get the word out there. I mean, I'm even willing to go out to one of the corners and start flipping signs.
He will.
So, I mean, it's just, hold your questions. I'm just kidding.
I love it. We found Mr. Ronald.
Thanks for that. The kind words. Y'all are so inspiring. I just wanted to know, during the height of what you were going through, what is it that helped you tap into your own resilience? Because from our vantage point, watching you and your beautiful family, along with many other families that are going through such hard medical journeys, ups and downs with their kids, how did you tap in and stay together as a family and intact? And what did you tap into? What made you resilient during and after that? Because you guys are amazing.
Well, first of all, I would say it's our faith in God, first and foremost. And I am an Army veteran, combat veteran and I went to Iraq, and I've been through a lot. I was deployed when I was 19 years old, and there's a lot of things I deal with and suffer with. Not to get off topic or subject, but I say that to say this: when this happened to my son, after going through all that, this was the first time I was ever scared in my life. So we kind of adopted the saying from McDonald's that we are stronger together, and we have that everywhere in our house. We actually painted our handprints together, and we have it framed in our house, and together we're stronger. So as long as we know that that we're all we have, and the saying is true that it takes a village to raise children in a family, and that's why we are, every time we're asked to come speak or to come share our story or to do anything for the Ronald McDonald House or for the hospital here, it's a long drive with two small children, but we're on it because you guys have done so much for us, and what got us through it was staying together as a family and loving each other and loving our kids, and then all your guys' love and support. So we love you guys, and we still continue to this day to get that love and support. And okay.
I just wanted to say I didn't want him to finish. I wanted to say something before he finished. Obviously, seeing our son go through it, seeing him go through it, he had no choice. He didn't know what was happening. And so being first-time parents, that was terrifying because we didn't know what all of that was. We had no idea. They explained to us, but they explained to us as doctors. We're not doctors. We don't understand. So we're like, okay. But seeing him just be so tiny and not know what's happening, you can't fight. You can't, even though we were so drained and we're so tired and we're probably so annoyed of each other, you can't fight. You have to just stand there and just hold his little hand every time they draw labs, every time, something's going wrong. It's him. He's the reason why we stay together as a family, why we stood there, why we were up every night, why we didn't complain about it. He wasn't complaining. We're not complaining. When he didn't eat because he was going to go through surgery or whatever, we didn't eat until he was able to eat. That's just what you do as a parent. And when you watch them go through that, you don't complain. You just roll with it, and you know, whatever he's going through, you make sure that you're not having a great time while he's going through it. So it was him, and it was us just, you know, being strong for him.
We figured if he can go through all that, it's nothing for us to go through, to stay by his side and stay together. If he can go through all that, and we saw his resilience and what he went through, and if he can go through that, then, you know, it's nothing for us to get through it together as a family and fight together and cry together and pray together. So, any other questions? Yes, sir.
No, thank you. I think, you know, we've lived, you know, for 5 years, this amazing story of Remy getting better. And first of all, thank you for being here, because you've always been part of the family. And I think Tony and Carrie always say, the house is your house away from home, right? And that's where I get chilled. But that resiliency that you do, you've shared with a lot of the other families. And I think that's something that's very important, that we form a community, and you guys have always been very open to sharing the story. I mean, now that we see Remy, you know, so big, and you know, I have the picture of almost all our kids in my office, and you know, some of the art that he left me, and he also helps us like a provider. We're a community that we're all helping. We've had the patients that get transplants like Remy, or the patients that are oncology patients, or the patients that have trauma. Like you said, you're there for 2 or 3 months, sometimes 6 to 8 months or more, right? And so I think what you have done by sharing your story and by meeting other people and helping others, because there's ups and downs, is really amazing. And so that message of how we are all interconnected, we're very thankful. Thanks for being here.
And with that, we move into the resiliency panel. Sonia and sir, we didn't catch your name? Angel. Sonia and Angel, everybody. Amazing.